have reportedly accepted an offer for Mason Greenwood. PSG name the asking price for Manuel Ugarte, and Sancho offer rejected. These are just some of the stories that we will be discussing on this evening's live show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 700 likes on this evening's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. UK time. Only 50% of people who watch these videos are currently subscribed. If you're one of those people who isn't currently subscribed, please get involved. It's completely free content. It doesn't cost any money, and it's the best way to keep up to date with all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Right then, let's get straight into the good stuff then, shall we? So much to talk about on the show this evening. Obviously, there's the big topics of Greenwood, Ugarte and Sancho, but we've got news on a new left back. We've got centre-back news. We've got news of a bidding war for a right back. There's so much going on. So buckle up, get involved, get in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on today's show. Okay, let's start the show off by talking about Jadon Sancho. So this is coming out from two different reliable Italian journalists saying that apparently Jadon Sancho has today rejected an offer from an unknown club because he is desperately waiting for Juventus. The story also goes on to say, this is from a different Italian journalist, saying that apparently Juventus in the last couple of hours had offered Manchester United Federico Chiesa in a swap deal for Jadon Sancho, but have been unsuccessful so far. Now, the question I've got for you today is this. Should Manchester United swap Jadon Sancho for Federico Chiesa? Apparently, Juventus aren't willing to pay Manchester United's asking price, which is £40 million. Apparently, they're only willing to take Jadon Sancho on loan, which is no use to us, let's be honest. Either he comes back into the team or you sell him. Loaning him out is just facilitating his bad behaviour, realistically, isn't it? You let him go where he wants. You probably pay half of his wages, and then in a year's time from now, he's still your problem. So for me personally, loaning out Jadon Sancho is not an option. Either you sell him, do a swap deal, or he stays, apologises to the fans, to the manager, to the rest of his teammates, and maybe he has a career at Manchester United. And that's a massive maybe. But yeah, as I said, I want you to let me know in the comment section, would you entertain a swap deal between Manchester United, Jadon Sancho, for Federico Chiesa? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Okay, I want to move on to Manuel Ugarte now, because we have had a massive update coming out in the last couple of hours that apparently Manchester United are now advancing in talks with PSG for the signing of Manuel Ugarte. Apparently PSG are asking for £50 million, which is ridiculous. They're not going to get that. The reason that PSG are asking for such a high figure is because that's what they paid for him last summer. So for anybody who's unaware, PSG signed Manuel Ugarte this time last summer from Sporting Lisbon for €60 million, which is about £50 million. And PSG are effectively saying, we're happy to sell him. The player wants to move. He's agreed personal terms, but we want to recoup the full £50 million that we paid Sporting Lisbon. The news that I've been given this evening is that Manchester United will not pay £50 million for Manuel Ugarte. Apparently, they value him at around £35 million, which, being completely honest, I think is more realistic. PSG want to sell, so they can say whatever they want, realistically, can't they? They want to sell the player. The player wants to leave. The player's unhappy. He wants to come to Manchester United. So realistically, they're probably going to end up meeting somewhere in the middle. Manchester United think he's worth 35. PSG are asking for 50. I think that we'll probably get Manuel Ugarte for about £40 million. That would be my expectation. Maybe 40 million with 10 million in add-ons. So the total deal would be 50, but some of it in add-ons. And I'll be honest, I think for £40 million, Manuel Ugarte would be an absolutely quality signing. He is honestly, go and watch him at the Copa America at the moment. He is doing unbelievably well. He scored the winning goal in the penalty shootout that took Uruguay. They beat Brazil last night, I think it was. They beat Brazil. They're through to the next round. So for anybody who's not watched Manuel Ugarte play football yet, make sure you go and check him out at the Euros, because honestly, he looks like the real deal. He's exactly the profile of player we need. We're crying out for a CDM to come into this team and own it. And I think he is the person to do that. 23 years of age. He's still got his whole career ahead of him, really. And I think he'd absolutely boss it in the Premier League. So, yeah, really, really excited about this Manuel Ugarte transfer. And the news gets even more interesting because there's a report that's just come out in the last 10 minutes saying that apparently Manchester United scouts were in Las Vegas to watch Uruguay knock Brazil out of the Copa America. Apparently they were there to watch Manuel Ugarte. So we are doing our due diligence on this deal. You know, we're making sure that he's the right fit. We're negotiating properly with PSG. We're not caving into their demands. They want 50. We want to pay 35. In previous years, Manchester United would just pay whatever the team want. That was what Ed Woodward did. They want 70 million, no problem. We'll give them 70 million and we'll dish out stupid wages. But Dan Ashworth, Omar Barada, Jean-Claude Blanc, they're not doing that. They're being very pragmatic. They're taking their time. And I know that some people in the fan base are getting frustrated. Some people in the fan base are desperate for signings, but we need to wait and be patient. I would much rather see players come in for the right amount of money than us waste money like we've done in previous windows. We've got to be much more careful, in the immediate future. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Manuel Ugarte. Is he the answer to Manchester United's problems? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We've got over 550 people watching live now, which is absolutely amazing. If you can do me one small favour and smash a like on today's video, that would be very, very, very much appreciated. I've set a likes target of 700 for today's show, so let's see if we can hit that by the end of this video. And we are now only one subscriber away from 26,900. We're getting very, very close to 27k. Anybody who's new today, make sure you subscribe. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. So make sure you get involved. It's free content and it doesn't cost any money. Okay. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. People are asking about the Ligt. The news with the Ligt is that Bayern Munich want to sell. He's agreed personal terms with Manchester United. He only wants to join Manchester United. De Ligt has spoken to Erik ten Hag on the phone. He sold him the plan, and De Ligt sees himself as the future of Manchester United. That's what he's been told by Erik ten Hag, apparently. De Ligt and Martinez are going to be our centre-back partnership next season. Now, there is a really interesting twist to this story. I spoke about it a couple of days ago on the show, but the Bayern Munich fan base, the supporters club, have made a petition. The petition is saying that they don't want the Ligt to be sold, right? This petition has got 60,000 signatures. 65, I've got it open now. 65,000 Bayern Munich fans have signed a petition in the last couple of days, in the last 48 hours, saying they don't want the Ligt to be sold. The petition says this. It says, "We all want Matthias de Ligt to stay at Bayern Munich. He has proven that he is a world-class defender, probably the best in our squad. There is a reason why he was elected our best player in the 2022-23 season. Furthermore, he is only 24 years old and has a bright future ahead, which he is going to use to fulfill his huge potential. Despite his young age, Matthias de Ligt is already very mature and has a great mentality, which would definitely make him a leading figure in defence and probably a competitor for captaincy in the future years." I mean, this is mad, isn't it? He said the petition says his ability to speak English, German and Dutch fluently would help him a lot with that. With 19 years, he already brought Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals as captain. Selling de Ligt would be an absolutely horrible decision, and we would definitely regret it in the future. That's why us, the Bayern Munich supporters fan club, are using our voice to call attention that we do not make this horrible mistake. I mean, that is absolutely mad, isn't it? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Over 60,000 people that have signed this petition in 2 days to keep him there. Like, is that not just mental to all of you? When have you ever seen that at Manchester United? I think we did a Glazers Out petition and it didn't even get 60,000 people signing it. Let's have a look. Yeah, we did. We did a petition. Someone set up a Glazers Out petition in June 2019 and it got 3,000 signatures. Someone else set one up here. It got 71 signatures. Like, the Bayern Munich fans go absolutely mad, don't they? And for them to set this petition up, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's going to make any difference. Bayern Munich aren't going to listen to somebody who's made a petition. If they want to sell him and the player wants to leave, they're going to sell him. I'm sorry. Like, that's just how football works. They're on the brink of signing Jonathan Tah from Bayern Leverkusen. They've obviously got Upamecano. They've got Dyer. They've got Kim Min-jae. They've got lots and lots of options in the centre-back position. But the overriding fact for Matthijs de Ligt is that he wants to come to Manchester United. He doesn't want to stay at Bayern Munich. And I would say the likelihood of de Ligt being a new Manchester United player is probably 95% at this stage. He's agreed personal terms and talks are now advanced. So I personally think that obviously England play the Netherlands on Wednesday. I think we'll probably get a here we go between now and Wednesday, to be honest, for both de Ligt and Zirkzee. Both of those deals are very advanced. I'll talk about Zirkzee in a minute, but Fabrizio said that both these deals are advanced and that here we go is imminent for both of them. So, yeah, the Bayern Munich fans can do as many petitions as they like, but the reality of the matter is de Ligt is leaving Bayern Munich and he will become a Manchester United player. But I think if anything, right, one really interesting thing about this story is we're going to get rival fans saying that de Ligt is a flop. De Ligt was a flop at Juventus. You know, you've been fleeced. You know, you can already see the stories being written by rival fans. But the fact that Bayern Munich's own fan base are petitioning for him to stay, and this isn't people trying to troll. This is actual real fans. It's, you know, it's on the official Bayern Munich fan base kind of website thing. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely mad. But yeah, my stance on de Ligt is this. I think if we can bring him back to the player that he was under Erik ten Hag for 34 million, I think that'll be one of our best signings in the last 10 years, genuinely. He is a quality centre-back. And I think under Erik ten Hag's guidance, alongside Lisandro Martinez, I honestly think that would be a scary partnership. People say he's slow. He's not slow. Like, Harry Maguire is slow. De Ligt is an average-paced centre-back, I think. I would say he's about the same pace as Martinez. And people don't think Martinez is slow, do they? You know? So there's this narrative that de Ligt's slow, he's clunky, he's the Dutch Maguire. That's not the case. Like, go and watch some of de Ligt play football. He is nothing like Maguire at all. So I just want our fans to get behind de Ligt. Yes, he's had problems. Yes, he's had injuries. But we have to trust that Erik ten Hag knows what he's doing. And I know people will say, how can you trust Erik ten Hag? You know, he signed Antony, he signed Mason Mount. Like, I get it. There is a level of unsettlement in the fan base towards signings. But put it this way, right? Let me rephrase it for you. If we were about to pay 70 million for de Ligt, I would say, what the hell are we doing? But for 34 million for a 24-year-old, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. I think it's a really, really good deal. Let's do a poll, shall we, and see what everybody thinks. Let's do this. Let's say this. Are you happy with the de Ligt signing? So anybody watching the video back on repeat, you can let me know in the comment section. The question is simple. Are you happy with the de Ligt signing? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you're not happy with it, let me know who you prefer instead. I'm always interested to see what other Manchester United fans have to say. So make sure you get involved in the poll or, get involved in the live chat and let me know what you think. We've got 800 people watching the video live now, guys. That is absolutely amazing. Big ups to all of you. We've set a likes target of 700 for today's video. So if you haven't liked it yet, please make sure you go and do that. And we are now only literally one subscriber away from 26,900. So please go and subscribe if you haven't already. If we hit 27,000 on this video, which is probably unlikely, but we might if everyone subscribes, I'll give out 5 memberships live on today's video. So go and do that if you haven't already. And let's crack on with the rest of the show. The Red Devil says, Kieran, what's happening with Van der Gaag? So Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hake were at Carrington today. They signed their contracts today, apparently, but they aren't able to work yet because they're waiting for a work visa. Obviously, I mean, it's stupid. Obviously, now that England isn't in Europe, if you're from anywhere other than England, you need a work visa to work in England. So even people who work for Manchester United, you know, top football people, they still need to get a work visa now. So, Van Nistelrooy and Rene Hake were at Carrington. There's pictures of them there, but they were unable to be part of the team because effectively they're not legally allowed to work yet. But Mitchell van der Gaag is apparently gone. Steve McLaren has stayed and Benny McCarthy is gone. That's the information that I've been given. We'll wait and see. When the official announcement comes for Ruud van Nistelrooy. But effectively, we need to wait until he gets his work visa, is what I've been told. Which I don't know how long that takes. If anybody knows how long that takes, let me know. I've got no experience with work visas, So yeah, it's a whole new thing to me. But it will be exactly the same, like as and when we signed Ligt and Zirkzee, they won't be able to train until they've got work visas, you know? Like, it's stupid, but it's just how the world is now. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this evening then, shall we? CBK says we should send Maguire to Everton. He'd be good at Everton. Yep, I agree with you, mate. We'll talk about Maguire in a minute. Anderson says, why don't we try and do a swap deal involving Maguire and Branthwaite? Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. There is some talk of that being an option. Somebody says, did Sancho turn up on time today? Yeah, I saw so many people trolling Sancho earlier, like messaging saying like, oh, do you want me to set an alarm for you, mate? And like, do you want me to pick you up so you're not late? And like, you've just got to laugh, don't you? I know some people will say that's abuse, but I think it was done in a funny way. But yeah, Jadon Sancho wasn't training today. Neither was Mason Greenwood. We'll talk about both those players in a minute, but Greenwood and Sancho did not train at Carrington today. That's been confirmed. Lots of other players were there: Onana, Anthony, Mason Mount, Maguire, Ahmad, Hannibal was there. Like, there was a load of people at Carrington today, but no Greenwood and no what's he called? Can't remember his name. It's gone. Sancho. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about. We spoke about Sancho already, haven't we? I think. My brain's gone. Yeah, we have spoken about Sancho. Right, let's move on to Jarrad Branthwaite. So this is coming out from Chris Wheeler this afternoon, and he is reporting that Manchester United are now likely to submit a new offer for Jarrad Branthwaite. He says, however, United and Everton are more than £30 million apart in valuation, so it remains to be seen if the two clubs will be able to reach a compromise. Now, I honestly feel like we should just walk away from Branthwaite. We've offered 35 million plus 8 in add-ons. Everton want 70. We're too far away to be able to find a middle ground, because a middle ground is going to be, 50, 60 million, which is stupid. He's not worth that. So I think Manchester United need to be very, very careful here, because 70 million is a stupid valuation for Branthwaite, right? 35, 40 million was realistic. And if they're not happy with 70, and we're having to slowly bump up our price every couple of weeks, I just think it's pointless. Man United have spoke to Everton. They've said, are you willing to lower the price? They've said no. So, like, why are we still bothering? They don't want to sell the player. They want 70 million. I don't really get the logic behind it. We can get De Ligt for 34, and you can get Lenny Yoro for 34. Like, those are the asking prices for both of those two players. Why are we not just going and doing those two deals? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see which one ends up coming. But I think Branthwaite is definitely something we should just walk away from. I think it's a bad deal. The only people who are benefiting from the Branthwaite deal is Everton, because they're going to look at us and say, you are a bunch of mugs. If we pay anything close to 70 million for Branthwaite, we are going to be a laughing stock. And Ineos's whole, we're going to be new, we're going to be different, we're not going to be like the Glazers, we're not going to spend money stupidly, that will just go out the window immediately. Like, 35 million plus add-ons was a reasonable offer, I think, being completely honest. I don't think that was even a joke of an offer. I reckon that was fair. The best way that you can kind of compare, right, is John Stones was playing at Everton. He's the same nationality. He plays in the same position. And I think he was the same age. And he left Everton for 55 million euros, right? Which in pounds is about 45 million pounds. So how do Everton think that they can value Branthwaite at 70 million when they sold John Stones for 45 million to Man City, who at the time was spending hundreds and hundreds of million? Like, what's the logic behind that? Where have they based this figure off? They've based this figure off that Manchester United was stupid enough to pay 80 million for Maguire. That's the only reason that they've quoted us that figure. Like, there's no other simple reason for it. So, yeah, I would 100% walk away from Jarrad Branthwaite. I think it's a bad deal. And being completely honest, I would much rather sign De Ligt for 34 million than Branthwaite for 70. I think it's a waste of money, and I think we'll only regret it further down the line. But obviously, as always, let me know what you think about Branthwaite. Should Manchester United sign him for £70 million? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. From me, it's a no, but as always, I'm interested to see what other Manchester United fans have to say on this deal. Okay, cool. Let's move on from Branthwaite, though. Let's talk a little bit about Joshua Zirkzee. So Fabrizio Romano has been talking today, and he says that Joshua Zirkzee, in quote marks, can't wait to be a Manchester United player. Great, that's positive. And then he also says that Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United, here we go, is imminent. This was about an hour ago. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if whilst we're doing this video, or even a couple of hours after this video, we get the here we go, and we can all celebrate, because I think it'll be an incredible signing. I really, really do. I've been watching videos of Zirkzee constantly for the last couple of days, and like, honestly, he looks like the real deal. So yeah, really, really excited about Joshua Zirkzee. I think he's going to be an amazing signing, and I'm just excited to be actually like proactive in the market. I know some fans are going to say, "Why are you excited? We've not signed anybody." But I actually feel like this year we're doing stuff in a proper way. I feel like we're properly speaking to the clubs first, speaking to the players, making sure they want to come. 2 seasons ago, we spent all summer negotiating with Barcelona for Frenkie de Jong. He was our only priority. We didn't look at any other players. It was Frenkie de Jong, Frenkie de Jong, Frenkie de Jong. We spent all summer negotiating. John Murta and Richard Arnold flew off to Barcelona every other week. See them in the pubs having beers and tapas, right? They finally agree a deal for Frenkie de Jong after God knows how many months, 3 months of negotiations. The deal is accepted. The Manchester United fan base are ecstatic. Everyone's celebrating. And then the story comes that Frenkie de Jong doesn't want to move to Manchester United. Like, we are doing things in a slower way, but we're doing things in the right way this time. That's the important detail here. We're working on multiple deals at the same time. We're checking that players actually want to come to the club. We're agreeing terms with them first, getting Erik ten Hag to call them, telling them about what position they'll play within the team, convincing them of the project, and then at the final stage, we're then agreeing a fee with the club. And that's the way that it should be done, in my opinion, because spending your whole summer chasing one player, in the instance of Frenkie de Jong, wasting all of your resources on this one player, and then finding out that he doesn't even want to come because his girlfriend likes living in Barcelona. I mean, surely they could have worked that out at the very beginning. Like, how did it take them 3 months of visiting Barcelona and eating tapas and drinking nice Spanish beer to realise that Frenkie de Jong's girlfriend doesn't even want to leave Barcelona? Like, surely me or you could have worked that out, and we're just, football fans. But anyway, I'm getting a bit ranty here. Let's see what people are saying in the comment section. We've got over 900 people watching live now, which is absolutely incredible. Please do me all a small favour and hit a like on the video. I've set a likes target of 700 for today's show. So if everybody who's watching the video right now hits the like button, we will hit that target. And we're literally 1 subscriber away from 26,900. So anybody who's watching live who isn't subscribed, please do go and subscribe. It's completely free content. And I've also said that if we hit 27,000 subscribers whilst I'm live on this video, I'll give out 5 memberships to the Daily Red Devil Members Club. So make sure you subscribe. The content is free. We're getting very close to 27,000. So I reckon we'll do it if everybody watching subscribes. Okay, let's see what people are saying in the comment section. Let me have a sip of my water. Magic Hotel says, does the Joshua Zirkzee deal mean that Højlund will get no more game time? Is there a system that can accommodate them both? To be honest with you, mate, Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund should be sharing the game time. There is no way on earth that Højlund should be playing every single minute. I don't think so. We're going to be in the Europa League. We're going to be in the League Cup. We're going to be in the FA Cup. Remember now, right? The Europa League is 8 games. It used to be 6. We'll play 38 games in the Premier League. That's already 46 games. If we go far in the League Cup and the FA Cup, we could be playing as many as 60 games next season quite easily, if not more, right? There's obviously you've got to factor in like the round of 16 of the Europa, the semi-finals, etc., etc. We're going to play probably 60 matches next season easily. And Rasmus Højlund is not enough at this point to be playing every single minute. I like the idea of having 2 different strikers who have 2 different profiles. Højlund and Zirkzee are 2 completely different players. Go and watch some videos of Zirkzee if you haven't seen him. He isn't like Højlund in any way whatsoever. Very, very different style of player. Now, Is there a world where Erik ten Hag tries maybe like with 2 strikers? I think so. In certain games, I would not be surprised at all if we need a goal if you see Zirkzee and Højlund up front. Whereas last season, there wasn't any other options. There was no Zirkzee. There was Martial. He was injured. He was sat on the bench. He wasn't even on the bench. He was just injured all season. So in those moments of games where we needed a goal and Erik ten Hag was looking to his bench, who did he have? He was putting Bruno Fernandes up as a striker, as a false 9, because that was the only option. Like, it's a massive, massive improvement for Manchester United to actually have another striker, because Martial, at the beginning, was amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. But his injuries completely ruined his career. And nobody's taken Anthony Martial. Nobody. Nobody has taken Anthony Martial whatsoever. So, yeah. Right, we've got a super chat coming in from Fred. He says, thanks for your hard work, Kieran. Does it concern you with our overloading of Dutch players? Thank you very much for your support, mate. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. In relation to your question, I'm going to echo that back to the chat because it's a really good question. So thank you for that, Fred. Fred has asked, do you think or are you worried about signing too many Dutch players? Let me know in the comment section. Everybody answer Fred's question. Let me know your thoughts. If you're watching live, obviously get involved in the poll. I mean, we haven't really got that many Dutch players. Donny van de Beek is gone. He's moving to Girona. Malacia is Dutch, but Malacia's disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't think he was even in training today, to be honest. There wasn't any photos of him. So does he really count? I mean, obviously he does, but like, it's not like Malacia is going to probably start many games next season. I don't think having De Ligt and Zirkzee is a worry. I mean, how many Brazilian players have we got? Casemiro, Antony, 2. How many Portuguese players have we got? Bruno Fernandes and Dalot, 2. How many... I mean, I could go on and on and on. How many English players have we got? Luke Shaw, Maguire, Rashford, Kobe Mainoo, probably a couple of others I've forgotten. I don't think it's a problem, to be honest, mate. Like, I really don't. I mean, Liverpool have got Van Dijk and Gakpo. The point is, right, this is where it would be a problem for me. So let me answer your question. I've given my reasoning. If we were just signing players because they were Dutch and they weren't very good, that would be a problem. That would be a big, big problem for me. But I actually think the players that we're signing are the best players available on the market. Name me a better centre-back available for 34 million than De Ligt. Let me know. Branthwaite for 70 million? Any takers? I mean, who else is there? I mean, who else really is there? Antonio Silva from Benfica? That would mean we'd have another Portuguese player. Then maybe we have too many Portuguese players then, you know? I honestly think that for me, the most important thing is the talent ID. De Ligt is an unbelievable player. Okay? Yes, he's maybe had a couple of bad seasons, but has he really? Why would the Bayern Munich fan base, make a petition and have over 60,000 people sign this petition in 48 hours to ban the transfer of De Ligt? Why would they do that if he wasn't good? He's clearly a good player. And the same with Joshua Zirkzee. Like, Zirkzee is a quality player. There's no one else available in the striker position for that amount of money that we can get who's better. I mean, who else is actually available right now in the striker position? You've got Victor Osimhen, £120 million release clause. You've got Ivan Toney, £60 million at the age of 28, double the price of Zirkzee. You've got Guirassy, he's moved to Dortmund. Like, there isn't really anybody, but it's a really good question though, Fred. And to finalise my answer, if we start signing bad Dutch players, then I would be worried because I would look at it and say the only reason we're signing them is because they're Dutch. But I genuinely do think that De Ligt and Zirkzee are probably 2 of the best players on the market at the moment that we can go for. But obviously, let me know what you guys think. If you disagree, that's fine. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. Somebody in the chat is already trolling De Ligt, saying that he's not very good. What I'll never understand, right, is I know people are just having a bit of fun and a bit of a laugh, but why can't we just get behind our players? until a player does something that upsets the fan base, why can't we just support them? There's a couple of people in the chat just saying that De Ligt's not very good. He's a bad player, blah, blah, blah. Like, why can't we back our players? We're going to sign De Ligt whether you like it or not. Like, why can't we back them? I understand with people like Rashford where, you know, he sulks around on the pitch. He has off the field issues. He turns up late to training, whatever. I get it. I can understand why people are annoyed about that. Right? But De Ligt hasn't even started training yet. And there's already people saying that he's not very good. Like, yeah. So the person who's trolling is saying he's awful. It's my opinion. I'm not trolling. Okay, who would you sign? All right, fair enough. Let's rephrase that. For £34 million, who would you sign instead of Matthias de Ligt? Let me know. Because there isn't anybody. There's no one available. So you'd rather go and sign Branthwaite for 70 million. Now, this is a more reasonable comment. Mount says de Ligt's injuries are a huge concern. Now, I agree with that. I think you can be concerned about his injuries. No problem. I get that, 100%. But to just say he's not a good player, like, what's that based on? Based on what? What have you seen of him that makes him not a good player? Like, give me some context. Is it because he's slow? Is it because he's not good at heading? Like, you're just saying he's not good. But anyway, let's move on from that. Let's talk about Mason Greenwood then, shall we? So this is being reported by multiple different people this evening that apparently Mason Greenwood is set to join Marseille in a permanent deal with Manchester United, now very close to selling the £35 million striker. Apparently, now, the price is going to upset a lot of people. So hold your breath here. Apparently the price is going to be around £20 million. That's what's being reported this evening. Mason Greenwood has said yes to Marseille. Marseille have apparently agreed a fee with Manchester United. Lazio are out of the race. Do you know what was funny, right? Lazio's president has spoken about the Mason Greenwood deal. So Lazio have been trying to sign Mason Greenwood for weeks. And Lazio's president has said some very bitter words this evening. He says the deal to sign Mason Greenwood was close, but then it collapsed at the final stage. He says, now I've one more name on my list. I can't share the name with you, but he's 10 times better than Mason Greenwood. I mean, what an absolute joker. He couldn't agree a deal with Manchester United and Mason Greenwood. So now he's come out saying that he's found someone 10 times better. Like, that's just funny. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be around £20 million. Plus add-ons, plus a 50% sell-on clause, which is at the low end. It is. I get it. And I know people aren't going to be happy with it. There'll be some people in the chat saying he's worth 100 million. Like, you're always going to get those few people, but I don't really know what the alternative is. The story again, someone else, Mason Greenwood to Marseille is now 95% done. He's gone. Mason Greenwood is gone. He will no longer be a Manchester United player. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it all, to be honest. All I'll say is it's a shame. It is a shame that his career has gone from up here to down here. Lots of people have made mistakes. Have Manchester United made a mistake? I don't know. I don't know. It's a really, really difficult one, but if I'm looking at this level-headedly, I think this will be good for everybody to stop talking about Mason Greenwood because it's such an unnecessary distraction for the manager, for the fan base. It causes divide. The amount of people who want him to stay versus the amount of people who want him to go, like, it does create a certain level of toxicity, the Mason Greenwood situation, because it's such a sensitive topic and everyone has an opinion. Yeah. But even if you look at it from a very black and white perspective, Mason Greenwood's on 80 grand a week, which is about £4 million a year in wages. So we'll obviously save that. We'll get £20 million straight profit in the bank, which is really helpful towards our financial fair play. And if Mason Greenwood goes to Marseille and does amazingly well, then when they go to sell him in the future, we'll get half of that money. So I think it's probably an okay deal. I know people are going to say I want more, but you know, we all want things in life, but you can only have what's available to you. Just a reminder as well that Roberto De Zerbi is the Marseille manager. So Mason Greenwood will join Roberto De Zerbi at Marseille. People are saying 20 million is a joke. Yeah, I get it. Manchester United wanted 40 million, but no one wanted to pay it. So what was the alternative? We've got over 1,000 people watching live now, which is absolutely incredible. If you haven't liked the video yet, please go and do that. It will really, really help to show this video to more people. So please make sure you do that quickly. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're doing. Go and subscribe. We're very, very close to 27,000. I reckon we're going to hit it on this video. And I'm going to gift 5 memberships on the members club section if we hit 27,000 by the end of this video. We're very close. We're less than 100 away. So go and subscribe now if you haven't already. And let's hit 27k by the end of today's video. But in the meantime, right, let's do a poll, shall we? One more poll. The question's going to be this. People watching back on repeat, you can let me know in the comment section. Are you happy with 20 million plus 50% sell-on clause, Mason Greenwood? Okay, so the question's going to be this. If you're watching back on repeat, you can obviously let me know in the comment section. The question is going to be, are you happy with £20 million plus a 50% sell-on clause for Mason Greenwood? Let me know. It's a yes or no answer. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I think I'm happy with it. I would have much rather 40 million, but 40 million isn't an option. So the alternative was that, I don't know. The alternative was that we loan him out for another season. And then every single week we're talking about Mason Greenwood for the next year. And he never plays for Man United again anyway. But every week for the next year, it's Mason Greenwood this, Mason Greenwood that. Do we want Greenwood back? Some people do, some people don't. It just gets boring. And I think we need to focus on football. We need to give Erik ten Hag the best possible chance of succeeding next season. We need to create a non-toxic environment for these players. And whether we like it or not, Mason Greenwood is a toxic conversation. Okay, it is because everybody has an opinion. The people who think he should stay think he should stay and think they're right. The people who think he should go should think do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a sensitive topic and there's no right or wrong answer. It's all a matter of personal opinion. So yeah, I think I am happy about it. I'm at least happy that I won't have to talk about it anymore, to be honest. Like, I'm happy for that. But for anybody just joining, apparently Marseille have had a bid accepted for Mason Greenwood. I'm still waiting to get 100% confirmation on what the price is, but from what I've heard and what I've read, apparently it's going to be around £20 million plus some add-ons plus a 50% sell-on clause. Obviously, this will be a permanent deal, so we won't be paying his wages anymore. We'll save about 4 million a season in wages as well, which I think, yeah, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, right? Donny van de Beek was on, I think, about 6 million a year in wages. He's gone. Mason Greenwood, 4 million a year. Gone. That's 10 million combined. And Varane was on 20 million a year. Gone. Martial was on about 10 million a year. So Martial, Varane, Mason Greenwood and Donny van de Beek, those 4 players alone leaving have saved us £40 million in wages in 1 year, per year. Let that sink in for a minute. £40 million in 4 players. People probably thinking, why do you keep going on about wages? I don't care about wages. The wages are why we're in such a mess at the moment, because financial fair play rules indicate that you can only spend X amount versus what you earn, right? And because our wages are so high, it's left us in a complete mess. Let me put this into context for you, for the people who think that I'm talking rubbish, right? I've just told you that Varane, Mason Greenwood, Donny van de Beek, and who was the other one? Martial, earned around £40 million a year combined. Luton Town, Premier League side, their total wage bill for a 30-man squad is £20 million. Let that sink in for a minute. A whole squad for a Premier League club combined earn half as what 4 players for Manchester United earn. Mason Greenwood was on loan. We paid most of his wages. Donny van de Beek was on loan. We paid most of his wages. Anthony Martial's been injured all season. We paid all of his wages. And Varane was injured for half of the season. We paid all of his wages. We paid £40 million in 1 year on wages. 2 players didn't even play for United. 1 was injured all season and the other was injured for half of the season. This is a massive achievement for us. It is. And I know people are like, why do you go on about this? But it's so, so important that Ineos get rid of players on big wages and we have a reset at this club, because otherwise we're never going to get in a position where we can actually spend properly in the future. So I commend the work so far. I'm happy with it. I know obviously everyone's divided on Mason Greenwood. But yeah, it is what it is. Let me have another sip of my water quickly. Oh gosh. Let's have a look what else we've got planned. Okay, so yeah, I'm just happy that we're getting people off the wage bill effectively. I'm sick of loan deals. I'm sick of us paying wages for other people to go and play in other places. Like, it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. Somebody, what else have we got? Okay, let's move on from Mason Greenwood though, shall we? I like the problem with Mason Greenwood is you could literally just talk about it all evening, because there's so many different outlooks that you could look at, isn't there? Okay, cool. Let's move on from Mason Greenwood, shall we? Let's have a look. Let's see how we're doing on these subscribers quickly before I move on. We're only 10 subscribers away from 27k. I said I was going to gift 5 memberships if we hit 27k. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go and do that. Let's try and hit 27k by the end of today's video. We can do it. Any of you out there who are not subscribed, go and get involved right now. I'm live every day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. UK time. Okay, let's move on from that though. And let's talk about a left back, because there's a lot of people in the fan base saying to me, what are we going to do next season? Malacia has disappeared off the face of the earth and Luke Shaw is injury prone. Now, this story is going to upset some people, and don't shoot the messenger. I just bring you the news and we discuss it. But apparently, Manchester United are interested in signing, drumroll, Ben Chillwell. All I can do is put my hands in my head. If we sign Ben Chillwell, I will go and bury my head in the garden. I'm sorry. This is coming out from about 3 or 4 different people in the UK today, saying that Ben Chillwell is among one of the top options at Manchester United as they are considering competition in the left-back position for Luke Shaw. Now, I saw a comparison on Twitter earlier, right? This was on an account called the United Faithfuls. Let this sink in for a minute. So we all think that Luke Shaw's injury prone, don't we? We all think that he probably needs to be moved on. We all think that on his day he's world class, but he's got injury problems. Since 2020, Luke Shaw has missed 73 games through injury in 4 seasons. That's what? Nearly 20 games a season. Crazy. It's almost half of a season Luke Shaw's missed. Ben Chillwell, in the same period of time, has missed 106 games through injury. 33 games more than what Luke Shaw has missed. Averaging about 27 games a season. I mean, I just don't understand. Someone please help me to understand this. Why the hell would Manchester United want to sign Ben Chillwell? Why? Like, somebody, please. I don't understand. I would rather Harry Amas get an opportunity. I would rather sign Reguilon. I would rather sign Sofian Amrabat and stick him at left back. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Ben Chillwell is rubbish. I'm sorry. And Ben Chillwell is injured more than Luke Shaw, who is injured all the time. I don't get it. I really, really do not get it. Will this happen? Probably not, but still, it's a new show. Manchester United are linked to him heavily. They're considering him. Let's just hope that all they do is consider him. Let's hope that it doesn't go anything past there, because otherwise I'm going to be very, very confused. But keeping on the topic of left backs, let's be a bit more positive, because Fabrizio Romano is saying about Miguel Gutierrez from Girona. Apparently, he says that he is one of the names that Manchester United are currently scouting for the left-back position. Now, he's a much more exciting proposal than Ben Chillwell, but my stance is still this. I personally think that Harry Amas should get an opportunity. He's not going to be the starting left-back, but Luke Shaw's your first choice. You've got Malacia as the second choice. You've got Harry Amas as the third choice. And you've also got Diogo Dalot, who can play at left back as well. You've got 4 players there. We don't need to go and spend big on a new left back. Like, why would we do that? But maybe you disagree. Maybe you think that a left back is a priority. Let me know in the comment section. Is a left back a priority for Manchester United? For me personally, it's a no. I think we're all right in that position for now. We need to strengthen in lots and lots of other areas, but we'll wait and see what happens. as long as we don't go anywhere near Ben Chillwell, I'm happy. That would be an absolute disaster. But this Guterres guy from Girona is a much more exciting proposal. But yeah, let me know what you think. And by the way, just to be very, very clear, I'm not by any means suggesting that Ben Chilwell should... that Harry Amas should be starting next season. Definitely not. I'm just saying that if Luke Shaw stays fit, Malacia comes back, Dalot can play at left back, and then you've got Harry Amas, that's 4 people. Like, we don't need a new left back. Last season was an absolute freak situation where both Luke Shaw and Malacia were injured all season. That was a horror situation. Like, that doesn't happen often. Like, I'll be honest with you, right? If Luke Shaw and Malacia are injured for the whole of this season, I would just terminate both of their contracts because they should probably retire if that happens. If they were injured for 2 seasons in a row non-stop, then they've clearly got something wrong with them. Let's just hope that Malacia and Luke Shaw stay fit and are okay. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. Let's just hope and pray that Manchester United don't wake up one day and think that Ben Chilwell is a good idea, because that is not a good idea. There's some breaking news coming out in the last couple of seconds, actually. This is going to shock some of you. Apparently, Manchester United have just rejected a bid of £30 million for Amad Diallo. It says Manchester United have just turned down a bid from one of Europe's biggest clubs who offered more than £30 million to sign Amad Diallo. It says United have made it clear that they have zero interest in allowing Amad to leave the club, as he is now considered of huge importance to the first team by Erik ten Hag. All I can do is clap this. Amad Diallo has done nothing but work hard to get into the Manchester United team. He came in as a teenager, right? He didn't really get his opportunities. He didn't complain. He went off on loan. First of all, he went on loan to Rangers, did okay there. Then he went to Sunderland, won Player of the Season. He's now come back to Manchester United. He obviously got injured, which was unfortunate for him. But for me personally, Amad Diallo has a future at this club. He excites me. I would be gutted if Amad Diallo left. But yeah, really, really happy that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Right. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It's been an amazing show this evening. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined me. Please do me a small favour before you leave. Make sure you smash a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. This has been Daily Red Devil. I will be back live at 8:30 a.m. UK time. Obviously, if anything breaks between now and tomorrow morning, I'll go live. So make sure you hit the notification bell. We're very close to 27k. Let's hit that by the end of today. Go and subscribe. Have a great evening. I'll speak to you all at 8:30 UK time tomorrow. Bye for now.